spent a lot of my life in some kind of food service, food production, from growing up on a farm to harvesting cranberries and cooking in the Coast Guard. Everybody likes to eat. Some people like to eat a little bit more than others, but a few people like to cook. A lot of times it goes good, but sometimes stuff happens. So the theme I'm talking about is fiascos in the kitchen. I used to work for a little mom and pop restaurant in Tennessee, and while I was there I made, if I remember correctly, 45 tons of coleslaw. I got to stick my hands in food for all that time. It could have been 42, but the more you remember stuff, the more inaccurate it gets. But I'm going to stick with 45, even though 42 is the ultimate answer. So, but I didn't come to talk about big things like I did like that. I come to talk about the fiascos, the stuff that goes wrong. My dad always told me, you can't cook from the living room. That's wise words, because I tried and it doesn't work. Because one time I was boiling some eggs and I just walked off in the other room and came back to a dry pan and burned eggs. And I like hard-boiled eggs, but I like them cooked in for about 10 minutes, not an hour. So, they taste better when they're cooked a little bit. And if I had my list memorized, it would be a little bit better. Now, we just had Groundhog's Day, and on a Groundhog's Day I like to go out and get a pork sausage, because it's ground hog. It's one of my old traditions. And let's start in the morning. There's I'm trying to read my writing. One time I was making cookies, and it was an Amish recipe, and this Amish recipe called for about 8 cups of flour, maybe more. I had to use a bowl about this big. So I was cooking snickerdoodles and rolling them out and cooking, and put a pan in, turn around, and put up another pan, and all afternoon long, and then I got to that last pan. I put it in the oven, I turned around, no more cookies. Click, and I went for a walk. And the people in the house were like, "Listen, Coyote, you making cookies?" He went for a walk. And there's smoke coming out of the kitchen. So they say you always burn the last batch of cookies, but you don't have to do that. You can just kind of remember that you just put them in the oven. You need to stay there about 10 more minutes. And there's another time I was cooking. I worked at a nursing home, and we had to make everything, and then we had to take everything and puree some of it to turn it back into liquid. So he took pancakes, cooked up these pancakes, and then turned it back into batter. So it's kind of interesting twist on that. But I was making toast, and then the fire department showed up to see what was on the menu. Somehow a piece of toast got cooked in this big toaster, and it set off the smoke alarm, but fortunately my job wasn't toast. The toast wasn't too good a toast either. Oh yeah, if I would write my notes a little bit better and I could remember them better, I would. But I was in the Coast Guard for a few years, and I was a new cook, and for some reason, a lot of you know what creamed beef on toast is. They have a different name for it, and I won't say it because I'm not sure who all the audience is. There's children here, so. But some of you know. So I was making that, and for some reason, I decided to put sugar in it. Then my first class came and he says, "Petty Officer Aaron, you don't put sugar in creamed beef, especially a bunch of old salts that like their creamed beef on toast." And he also liked coffee. This is when I was coming into the galley in the morning. First thing I do is turn on the lights and make coffee. I got the coffee pot set up, put the water in it, plugged it in. comes in later to get a cup of coffee. There's no grounds in it. He was kind of looked at me and, what are you doing? He said, you know, Pastor Aaron, you make the best hot water I have anybody I know. Then there's another day I was making croutons. Cut up this whole big sheet pan of bread, 2 of them, about this big. All these croutons, it's cut and cut and put them in the oven, and discovered that they don't need to cook for 3 hours. So they went the way they look like little miniature briquettes, so they didn't go in the salad because nobody wants burned toast, because I already did the toast to them. I was good at it, you know, I burned my toast. Probably need my glasses too. Now, another thing about cooking on a ship is storms, and you're subject to the seas. And imagine your house doing this, and then this, and this, and this, and you got stuff in the oven, and all of a sudden the juice all spills everywhere because it took a 30-degree roll, big storm, and sorted out the oven. But the meal must go on, and so they got up there quick and fixed that oven, and the crew was happy that they had some nice turkey to eat. There's always an adventure cooking in a ship, especially when you're underway. And there's another day, it was seafood, and we needed some lemon sauce for one of the things, and so I made some lemon sauce. It should be a creamy and pale yellow. I put too much coloring in it. It looked like paint. So, lemon sauce should look like it's pale, not like it come from a pail. It was tasty though. Everybody liked it, but it was just, you had to do this when you looked in there because it was so bright yellow. There's one time I was at a friend's house and I was going to make some really nice lasagna. And if y'all make lasagna, you know you don't need to spend $100. But I went overboard. I spent $100 to make 2 pans of lasagna, 15 layers. And I had a summer sausage that I was going to slice real thin and layers in there. Come back to make it, and I discovered the sausage was gone. I'm looking and looking, and then the dog is sitting there looking happy. The dog ate my huge log of summer sausage. So things that happen in the kitchen it's not always one's fault. Sometimes it's the weather, sometimes it's, you leave the food out, the dog gets it. You shouldn't really do that. I also like cooking on a campfire. Baked potatoes, if you have a baked potato that's cooked on a certain kind of heat at a fire, it's just so good. I just wrapped it all up in foil and I put it in there and I come back to get it. Picked up the foil and it was empty. I burned that potato to dust. I think I overcooked it is what I did. Oh boy. And as a young child, I was goofing around in the kitchen and eating ice cream and want to make a sandwich, and my friends are saying, what can you put on it? So we started putting stuff on it. And if you ever had a sundae with mustard and ketchup, don't go there. It's not that good. But I ate it anyway, but I was a crazy young child eating ketchup and mustard on my vanilla ice cream. But I'm still cooking, I still enjoy it, I still make mistakes.
We all do.
Have a good old time. Thank you for indulging me in my reminiscent of fiascos in the kitchen. Thank you very much.